What's up, football fans? I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our two latest book releases, Football: A Love Story and What Did Football Teach Me? Visit our website at footballgameplan.com/books and get your copies today. Welcome to NFL Game Plan. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and today we're going to break down the battle between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs in only a way Football Game Plan can. We're going to bring you keys to victory, whiteboard workouts, film session, coaching points, X factors, and even fantasy advice. So let's get this video kicked off by starting with my keys to victory.
Looking at the Broncos in this ball game, the running game is going to be crucial. I think they were one-dimensional last week versus Baltimore, and they can't come in versus Kansas City and have the same type of output on the ground. Otherwise, they're going to struggle. Now we'll utilize heavy ace personnel, 2 tight end sets to help get that ground game going. You want to expand that 3-4 defense and create those natural bubbles in those rushing lanes. And you want to communicate in the secondary. That goes without saying. When you're facing an Andy Reid-led offensive attack, he does a great job in diagramming plays and creating natural rub and pick routes in the secondary. And if you're not communicating, you're going to give up a big play in the passing game. And for Kansas City, they have to improve on third downs. Last week versus Houston, they were 3 out of 14. That's unacceptable versus a team like Denver that can put points on the board in a hurry. And DeAnthony Thomas, I think, needs to find his way to get into a groove early in this ball game. I think he's a big X factor for this Chiefs offense and could give that Broncos secondary and also those linebackers a lot of problems. And they have to make plays in space defensively. The Broncos don't mind throwing the football short and allowing those big wide receivers to break tackles, make plays in space defensively, and get that offense off the field.
This week versus the Broncos, it goes without saying that Kansas City will have to apply pressure on Peyton Manning, and I'm going to draw up one blitz they can utilize on third and medium to help get that done. I'm going to show you what I like about this blitz is the fact that Kansas City can trust their corners one-on-one. I think they have excellent personnel, and they match up well versus the receivers of Denver. So let's say they're going to be one-on-one. These are their guys, tight pressure, one-on-one. That's already going to make it a tough throw for Peyton Manning because he's going to have to be consistently accurate with the football. And what we're going to do, we're going to send 2 guys down the B gap. We're going to send a nose tackle and the backer. We're trying to influence the offensive line to pick up one guy, which will then make the other guy free. So what we're doing here on the outside, contain pressure with your 5 techs. They're containing. We're going to send this outside backer hard and quick. He's trying to force a quick throw to this side of the football field where this corner is pressed on this wide receiver. Now what we're doing as the cadence starts to wind down, we're going to walk this inside backer up, and he's the first one to go. Boom, he's shooting that B gap hard as well. So now you got double backer pressure on the weak side coming hard and fast at Peyton Manning. After he goes, we're going to send a nose tackle right behind them. So whichever the guard or center picks up, whomever the guard or center picks up, the other guy should be free. Again, it's all about pressuring the weak side of this formation. Now what we're going to do on the front side, we're going to walk this backer up, showing pressure, hopefully changing the line calls. Then he's dropping back into zone. He's going to hit the tight end, drop back into a zone. Halves right here, halves right here. So the reason why this works, you're trusting your guys on the outside, you're getting great weak side pressure, and you're hopefully trying to influence a quick pass over here to where you're banjoing the tight end or have 2 guys dropping into a zone, and you also have your 2 safeties back deep. So this is just one way Kansas City, I believe, can frustrate the passing game of the Broncos.
It's always the little things that make a player great. When you look at Peyton Manning last week versus Baltimore, playing excellent football from the neck up, audibling out of a play into a better play, seeing that the defense was probably in quarters half, or cover 6, so he audibled to a short pass to the quarter side and put the ball in the hands of Demaryius Thomas early and allowed him to make a play, make one miss, and get the first. These are the type of things that he has to do in this game versus Kansas City if they want to have success.
All right, so we got Thursday Night Football, the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. My X factor for the Denver Broncos really is just establishing the running game. They had trouble running the ball last week, and it's something that they really need to establish. This way you can see the further merge between Gary Kubiak and Peyton Manning. It's really going to be important for them to get C.J. Anderson going. They're going to have to get him the ball and allow him to take advantage of those cutback lanes. So my X factor player for this game is C.J. Anderson. Now flipping it to the other side, looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, a lot of shuffling on that offensive line. Eric Fisher was not playing last week. You got Ja Reed, former Raven, playing. So what they really need to do going against DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, two ferocious pass rushers, the X factor is going to be controlling the line of scrimmage and getting the ball out of Alex Smith's hands quickly. And my prediction for this game is actually going to be Broncos 28-17 over the Chiefs.
This week in the Broncos and Chiefs matchup, I'm really looking for Denver's coaching staff to get back to letting Peyton Manning be Peyton Manning. I think that they're trying so hard to implement a run game that maybe they're not prepared to have in at the level that they want, that it's almost stifling what's made Peyton Manning over the past, 15 plus years. So I think they need to let Peyton Manning get back to doing on what he does best, which is to be that general on the field and command the offense. As far as Kansas City goes, I think Kansas City really needs to find a way to get all of their weapons involved. I know that they can get the ball to the tight end. I know they can get the ball to the running backs. But unless they're able to get the ball to their wide receivers more consistently, and that means pushing the ball down the field, I think that in the long run, Alex Smith and company, they're going to struggle. My prediction for this one, I think Denver wins 28-24.
Here's what I have to say for this game. My starts and sits for the Kansas City Chiefs. I actually would start Alex Smith this week. I think he's finally learning what to do as far as a guy who actually gets the ball in playmakers' hands, gets out on the edge, makes things happen, and he can still make things happen with his feet. Expect him when they get near the end zone to get a touchdown with those legs. I actually would sit Travis Kelce this week because last week was a good matchup for him. The middle linebackers for the Texans did not do their job, while you had the middle linebacker for Denver. He will be able to actually do his job. They're going to bracket him and make sure he doesn't get loose. On the Denver side, I expect a big bounce back from Peyton Manning, the old general. He's probably going to throw a couple of touchdown passes, so I would start him. Who I would sit in this game, if possible, Emmanuel Sanders. That all being said, I expect a close game early, but the final score of this game, I have Denver winning 24-20.
I like the Broncos in this ball game. Both defenses, I believe, will come ready to play. So I see a low-scoring game like we saw last week versus Baltimore, but ultimately, I think Peyton Manning in that passing game will provide enough offense to get these guys over the hump and knock off Kansas City. And just to recap our picks, everyone is going with the Broncos, so there you have it. And I also want to give a huge shout-out to Bronco fan forums and Chief fan forums for always showing football game plan support.